Right, welcome to my channel. Before I get into anything, just hit that subscribe button that way, I don't know, wherever it is. Okay, so what we're doing in this little project is we're turning a bowl, a resin bowl. Now, a couple of weeks ago on my live show, because I do a live show every 2 weeks, I had the wife in the shop and we made a load of blanks out of Vista resin. So this is the lake and this one is the Cascade. Now, we made a few blanks, so go back and watch the video. I'll put it just up here, but watch it after you've watched this video. So the first one we made was with the Cascade. No, this was Lake. So we made, this is all sorts of stuff, look. But go back and have a look at the live show. So that was the Lake, and then we made this one with Cascade. So in here are the two pigments that that was sent to me with this stuff. Anyway, but there was a third blank. Now the wife made this blank all on her own. She just kept tipping loads in, and I believe this was Lake. This is why it's empty. So she just kept tipping it in and it come out like that. Look at that, is that cool? So she's anxious to see what this turns out like. It's been a couple of weeks because my live show is tomorrow, so it's been 13 days since this has been made. Dimensions are 5.5 inches that way and just under 2 inches deep. There's no cracks. There's no cracks at all. So I'm looking forward to turning this. She wanted me to keep this bottom on somehow, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. Let's get to turning it, shall we, and see what we can produce. Look at that! Just shows how dangerous wood turning, resin turning can be. Make sure you got this on, because that would be pretty nasty if it hit you in the face, wouldn't it? All I did was I just got a tiny little catch where I wasn't paying too much attention to it. I was just trying to work on this little bit here where it was a little bit wobbly, and then somehow I caught it. And the reason that happened is because I had my chisel at this angle rather than that angle. So that's what caused that chip out. Chip out. Understatement. So the way we're going to sand this, I just already started sanding and realised I didn't press record. So what we're going to do is we're going to work right up from 220 grit up to 250 grit. Now, when you want a really nice smooth finish, the best way to do it, I think, is to work up through your grits, but also wet sand it. Now, with wet sanding, if you was to dump a load of water in here and then just go from one to the other, you're going to pick up the previous grit. So if you can imagine the 220, it's quite coarse. there's little bits of grit that's going to come off that, and it's going to end up in your water. And then the next one you pick up is a 280. It's going to have a little bit of the 220 grit in. Now what you don't want is that 220 grit being on your 2000 or 2500 grit. You'll end up with scratches. So I think the best way of doing it is to line all your grits up there, use a spray bottle, just tepid water. And I say tepid because you don't want to get your Donnies cold, do you? Hang on, some on the lens. So, and what we'll do is we'll spray it, and then we'll wipe in between every grit so there's no grit left on it. And we'll see what happens, shall we? So next step is to, now it's beautifully sanded, absolutely beautifully smooth that is, we'll buff it up and put a bit of a polish on it, shall we? A bit of a shine. So this is just Plast RX for removing scratches on cars, I think. What do you think? Is that beautiful? That's so nice. I could have actually spent a lot more time sanding it, which, yeah, it would have been better. But to be honest, that is absolutely beautiful. So I'm not going to bore you with this now. I'm just going to crack on with it, and then we'll see you at the end. So what do you think? Look at the state of me. So there you go. What a beautiful bit of resin this is. You can actually see how transparent it is as well. I mean, look at that. Look at that. Is that gorgeous or what? See my hand through the back. I love it. So the wife did a really good job pouring this. I'm really happy, and she's going to be happy because I'm going to go and give it to her in a minute. Gorgeous. So anyway, down below there will be a link to Vista resin. This one is Lake, because you can pour Lake a bit thicker than the Cascade that I've got. But there'll be another video coming up soon where I pour the Cascade quite thick, and I'm going to push the boundaries really of how thick you can pour Cascade. I have put a little bit of wax on this as well. Just clear wax, and I don't know why, but I did. Gorgeous, isn't it? So right, anyway, I'll I'll see you in the next one.